Focus on this or for my team on the lack of phone. Thank you for all our participants to join our workshop. Okay, that's from my investor media. Bloomberg Terminal is a computer system that allows investor to access the Bloomberg data service, which provides real-time global financial data, use cases, and messages. And today we have three from Bloomberg team, yeah, and then I would like to read the bio from one of the main speakers, Mr. Kevin Lowe. Okay. Kevin Law is a senior market and application specialist at Bloomberg. He's been working in Bloomberg for the last 17 years in the capacity of market specialist and currently as a workflow specialist. He spends most of his time assisting clients in maximizing the full potential of their Bloomberg system. And give applause to our Bloomberg team today. Okay, Richard, Kevin, and also the team to reset your message.
Oke. Berdiri atau duduk aja, Pak? Oke. Ini dia aja ya. Selamat siang semuanya. Saya cuma mau memperkenalkan diri dulu sebelum saya pass on the mic and then the materinya yang sepenuhnya ke Pak Kevin. Nama saya Daniel Nenggolan. Saya orang Indonesia, of course. Saya dengan Pak Ade Hidayat, kawan saya satu lagi, kita berdua adalah account manager untuk services di Indonesia. Walaupun kita base-nya bukan di sini, kita base di Singapura, tapi kita hampir tiap minggu juga ada di Indonesia. Dan of course Pak Kevin seperti yang tadi sudah dibacakan biografinya, saya nggak perlu ulang lagi, is our market specialist di justru saya tertarik juga tadi Anda sudah dibacakan biografi dan sebagainya. Tapi saya tanya, kalau ada kalian ada dengar kata itu kamu yang Anda pikirkan atau justru yang lain?
TV broadcasting.
Exactly. Itu juga yang saya mau mention. Kenapa? Saya saking memperkenalkan diri saya. Oh, saya dari dulu saya bilang, oh, yang di TV itu. Ya, padahal sebenarnya bukan begitu. Sebenarnya kalau saya mau mungkin tadi sudah dibacakan deskripsi user business itu, tapi sebenarnya TV itu cuma salah satu dari the best coverage yang belum ada. Dan yang kita justru mau tunjukkan ke kawan-kawan di sini semua adalah justru apa yang kita namakan Bloomberg professional. Bloomberg professional, which is the main core business dari Bloomberg business globally, adalah kalau Anda pikir mungkin kayak financial information software. Financial information software yang mencakup keseluruhan. It's a global database, seperti tadi yang juga di-mention, yang mencakup data-data perusahaan saham equities kita namanya, begitu juga dengan surat berharga obligasi fixed income, juga commodities, misalnya minyak, harga emas dan sebagainya. Begitu juga dengan news yang kita juga cover di dalam Bloomberg Professional Service, historical data, real time data dan sebagainya. So kemudian kembali ke yang tadi saya bilang, Bloomberg TV is one of the business yang mana Bloomberg itu punya, tapi sebenarnya that's not the only one. This is our core business yang mana menyediakan informasi yang dipakai oleh klien-klien kita itu seperti bank, financial institution, asset management, insurance companies, ya, yang mana mempergunakan facility dari Bloomberg untuk melihat prices, information, news, dan juga sebenarnya trading, electronic trading platform juga kita ada di dalam sistem. So mungkin itu saja introduction dari saya. Saya akan pass on ke Pak Kevin. Mungkin satu hal lagi yang saya mau mention, seperti yang tadi Pak Agus ya sudah mention, Anda sekarang punya akses ke Bloomberg Terminal di perpustakaan di bawah, ada 2 Bloomberg Terminal, silakan dipergunakan. Kita mempunyai facility yang Anda bisa pakai di situ, juga ada yang namanya help desk. Help desk kita itu tersedia basically 24 jam, 7 days a week. Anda bisa menanyakan, saya mau mencari misalnya kurs Indonesian rupiah terhadap US dollar for the past 5 years. Anda bisa nanya dalam bahasa Indonesia, dalam bahasa Inggris. We have a real people behind the help desk yang akan menjawab pertanyaan. Jadi it's not always a machine untuk call, gitu ya. So please utilize that. Mudah-mudahan ini bisa berguna untuk kawan-kawan semua yang ada di sini. And ya, kalau ada something yang nanti selama workshop ini bisa dipertanyakan setelah ini nanti silakan. So mudah-mudahan ini bisa lebih kayak interaktif ya. Silakan Pak David.
Selamat siang teman-teman, bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu dosen yang saya hormati. Saya senang sekali dapat peluang ini untuk di Universitas Erlangga untuk sharing ya. Tapi perkenalkan nama saya Kevin Lau, saya orang Singapura. Jadi bahasa Indonesia saya belum lancar. Jadi kalau bisa maafkan saya akan bicara dalam bahasa Inggris ya. So kalau ada pertanyaan dalam bahasa Indonesia, saya ganti sampai mungkin 80% lah. Jadi saya akan berusaha untuk belajar bahasa Indonesia lebih mendalam. So thank you so much for today. So basically, what is Bloomberg? So what does Bloomberg do, and how is Bloomberg helping, especially in the financial world and in the financial industry? Of course, like Pak Dan was saying, a lot of our clients or a lot of our customers it's not just the banks. We have regulators, central bank, we have security houses, we have economists using us, we have all walks of life. For example, from the corporations, they look at commodities, like one of your colleagues was saying, they look at commodity prices. Now, of course, the whole idea of having Bloomberg is between research in a way, it's like I need to know what is moving the markets. So the researchers will analyze those things so they can be from economists and analysts or equity analysts, so that they can provide information to their traders in order to make investment. Now, of course, equity is only one part. There's also other areas that people are investing. For example, Bank Indonesia might be investing in the foreign reserves, so they will be investing in many instruments ranging from mortgages, surat utang negara, saham, and many more. Yeah. So basically, Bloomberg is a system where we collected a lot of data. Now, of course, not just data, but we are actually using this data and making it in such a way it is easy to do analysis. Now, what do I mean by that, right? Now, if you are new to Bloomberg, the first thing is like, how do I use Bloomberg? Is a system. Now, I'm sure many of us use Google search before, right? Google. Kalau Anda mau cari mungkin what's happening in currently, like okay, let's say field press, what is happening. So you just type okay about Prabowo, right? So it will pick up the information for you. So likewise, Bloomberg has a simple way of finding information on Bloomberg. One is, if you see this blue line, basically it's just like, I think it's okay. Yeah, I just hope. Yeah. So basically, this blue line is like the Google search. So in a way, if you are going to Google, you're going to type in over here, search in Google. So if you type in kata kunci, yeah, ketik kata kunci, then you find those information. So for Bloomberg, this blue line here is actually allowing you to provide it with a command or a page. So I'm doing my own podcast. Yeah, thank you so much. So basically, Bloomberg allows us to like search for information by typing in the keyword. For example, this blue line here, blue box here, is actually the Google search box. So if, for example, I want to search for a company, like I want to look for, let's say, Astra Indonesia, or maybe like most of you may be interested in analyzing what is happening in US, like some stocks in US, right? For example, NVIDIA. So you just type in NVIDIA, or you type in the full name of the company, and of course, what you do is you allow it to you don't hit enter, and of course, using this drop down, they will be able to like highlight for you. These are the potential information that you're looking for. For example, under securities, you'll find that NVIDIA Corp is actually is going to be what they call it, stored in this ticker or a file name called NVDA US, and of course stored under this folder called equity. Now, of course, it's quite easy. Once you find it, you just click on it, and you'll pull up the company for you. So essentially, they found the company NVIDIA. Everything here. Oh, this way. Yeah. So so the company is found, and of course, the first thing they will show you is like the price of this share, and other things that the information like maybe a trader will look for is like how many shares are being traded and so on and so forth, right? Now, the most important thing is that once you found this information, Bloomberg will create a pop-up where it will give you a menu of what we call analytics. Jadi namanya itu analisa ataupun analytics ya. So basically they are asking you, since you found this company that you are looking for, what do you want to do on top of it? What else you want to analyze? For example, are you looking for information of this company? And of course, this screen here or DES tool or this page ataupun halaman DES actually tells you the description of company. For example, I don't really know this company. If I click on it, it will pull up a description page, and these are the information telling you about this company is involved in this business, and of course they will give you some breakdown of the company. For example, what is the market cap, how much shares is outstanding, who are the management, and other things like simple quick ratios. For example, if your students might be looking at, are they in financially, are they strong? I want to look at some of this key information, for example, like growth potential or profitability. Now, of course, these are the current ones. And again, the new thing that we're doing as well, as you are aware, in the financial world, we're talking about ESG, sustainable financing. And ESG has become such an important thing because in order for investors to invest, and if this company's ESG score, like what they're doing in the environmental, social, and governance space, if the score is low, then of course, according to this new regulation, the investors might not be keen to invest or at least loan money or invest in the companies which is not very strong in their ESG work, right? Now, essentially, this is one way of looking at information. Now, kalau Bapak, Ibu juga mungkin ya mau tanya bagaimana saya mau tahu mungkin pergerakan dolar rupiah ya. Jadi dengan gampang saya ketik IDR ataupun mungkin rupiah ya, ataupun just the keyword rupiah. And again, it will search for you. Are you looking for some information, pages, news on rupiah, or are you looking for the file that stores dollar rupiah information? So, assuming if you want to do that, this is the file in Bloomberg. Just click on it. Again, it will tell you sekarang dollar rupiah is quoted as 15,650. So 1 US is equivalent to 15,650. And of course, again, the same thing comes up is a menu. Now this menu that comes up is the same logic like earlier we have equities, but right now this menu that comes up is applicable lebih cocok ya dengan balas. Jadi tadi yang saya tarik ke Bloomberg itu adalah harga saham ya. Jadi menu yang akan dipakai untuk saham itu is actually more relevant to the stock. Okay, so in this case, like for example, if you want to see like the GRUFA, for example, like I want to analyze the historical movement. For example, maybe Bapak Ibu will think this is very high. Rupiah udah melemah ya. Jadi sekarang 15.000 mesti pakai 15.650 rupiah untuk beli $1. Jadi paras yang tertinggi itu kapan? When was it happening and so on and so forth. So maybe your students or yourself want to know the historical. Let's say for example saya tanya Bapak Ibu ya, di Krismon waktu 1997 harga tertinggi untuk dolar bersama dengan rupiah itu berapa? Apakah kita udah dekat dengan itu? Because that will cause a lot of they call it concern for central bank, right? So in this case, what you can do is I want to analyze a chart. Mungkin pakai GRUFA dan kemudian I can look at the historical information, right? For example, over here, I can pull this data. This is the daily data. And I can also do things like, for example, I want to look at this in the last 30 years, pergerakan dolar rupiah balas untuk 30 years ago. So basically, this was the closing price in 1998. So we have actually exceeded over it, right? So again, will this affect the economy of Indonesia going forward? What will central bank do? And of course, this will also link to a lot of market players thinking about what will be the effect. Will central bank raise suku bunga Indonesia, rupiah, ataupun akan menurunkan? So what is the impact of it? And of course, all these things will help the pengguna Bloomberg ataupun those who are using Bloomberg to do a few things. For example, for the investor, let's say, assuming one day your students become a trader or like a bond trader, they want to know what is the best strategy. Should I buy bonds if I think the interest rate is going down? If it's going up, then of course I would not want to buy bonds, right? And of course, a lot of these kind of information are all interconnected. Between interest rate, how is it impacting the bond market, and of course interest rate also is going to impact balas, and of course interest rate will also impact stock market as well. Essentially, these are some of the things that you can do. Now, the other way to explore Bloomberg, since you will have waktu uji coba ya. So the other thing that you can actually explore is to go through this menu, right? Related functions menu. This button here actually allows you to open up to menu. For example, waktu dulu kalau saya pertama kali ke Surabaya, pasti sebelum zaman Google lah ya. So I will always ask, Bapak, saya mau ke, let's say this mall ya, how to go there? Most likely I will ask, right? So I ask people, I say, okay, you follow this way and then go left, go right. Then maybe once you go to the mall, you go to see the directory. Okay, lantai satu ada apa, lantai dua. So basically it's directory driven. And of course over here, this is the things that we cover. Dari surat utang negara, surat utang perusahaan, money market, kalau mau deposito money market berapa, suku bunga yang saya bisa dapat. Kalau Anda ada minat dalam saham, if you click on equities, they will open up the menu that yourself or your students can actually explore. For example, I want to look at like World Equity Index. Ini ada halaman yang sudah tersedia, namanya WEI. So what you do is you explore and then open up this page. Then it actually shows you certain information that a lot of people are asking for. Jadi banyak halaman yang kita siapkan itu karena permintaan dan juga karena alur kerja banyak customer kami ya. For example, over here they will show you all the stock indices around the world. For example, Dow Jones yesterday only up by 56 points. The euro is dropping by only 5.2. So these are the percentages and so on and so forth. Okay. So the other thing I want to just quickly go on is I know that banyak bosan di sini adalah their econom. They do a lot of research. And if you are keen on looking at, say, the economics data, you can come over to this site called economic analysis. Jadi dari analisa ekonomi, Anda bisa terdapat banyak data dan juga halaman yang Anda bisa pakai ya. Seperti yang ini, World Economic Statistics. Di sini ada library of all the statistic economy dari seluruh negara. Jadi kalau Anda bukan hanya ada minat dalam Indonesia, kalau Anda mau lihat apa yang menggerakkan pasar China, so you need all those data to kind of analyze what's happening in China. So you can actually find all this information. So on the left-hand side is all these statistics by the what we call it sector. These are the ticker or the file name storing all this information. For example, Anda mau lihat ya how the GDP of China is moving, or at least historically, you can actually click on this button to create a chart. Now, what you can do as well, kalau Bapak Ibu ada minat atau perlu ya, tarik data ini ke Excel untuk digunakan untuk presentasi ataupun untuk analisa lebih lanjut. Data from Bloomberg is actually is downloadable to Excel. You can link it up. So information that you need, you can actually pull into Excel as well, so that you can do further analysis on it. Okay. Now, because of time, I won't go into detail. I just want to show you cuplikan-cuplikan ataupun sekilas apa what you can expect from Bloomberg. Now, the other thing I want to show you is basically, for example, this one here shows you the forecast. I know that you are doing your own analysis, tapi juga mungkin sekali-sekali juga kita mau tahu ya rata-ratanya all the top economists around out there. What is their thought process? What do they think about certain economy? For example, in US, if you want to see the consensus view of the outlook, and essentially for US, I'm using this data from private sector. Official means they are from central bank, they're from World Bank. Those are official organization. So basically, using private, the GDP growth of US is expected to kind of like drift off to like maybe 0.5 in the third quarter. And of course, if you scroll down, you can see some of the other forecasts. For example, inflation in America is forecasted to be going around dropping to about 2.9 or 2.6 level. Now, what's more important ya ke depan, what will be the view of a lot of economists on the interest rates? Karena suku bunga itu amat penting ya. For example, if you want to know like what is the consensus view of interest rate in the US, they're expecting interest rate in the US to be kind of firm. Maybe there's only a potential of rates dropping by early next year. So basically, this is a consensus view of the economists. Nah, kalau Anda juga mau tahu who is behind these numbers, where do we get these numbers from? So you click into any one of these rows, you will see the people that we have reached out to. Jadi di sini ada mungkin saya nggak tahu ini Bapak atau Ibu ya, M. Gapen ini ekonomis dari Bank Amerika. So what they do is they, like yourself, they analyze, pull in the data, analyze, and then they will come out with their own research. But unfortunately, kita nggak bisa tunjukin ya their research karena ada regulasi yang tidak membenarkan mereka untuk menunjukkan research mereka ke publik ya. So what we can do is we ask them, Pak, Ibu, menurut kajian Anda, your research, what is your view on this point, this inflation? What do you think about interest rate? What do you think? So they are saying, okay, my conclusion is this is my view on that. So what we do is we reach out to all these people, and then we do a kind of like Bloomberg weighted average. So in a way, what you see on the main screen is actually a consensus view of all these guys that is what their thought process is and what they think about certain numbers going forward. Now I know that since Bapak Ibu mungkin ada yang perlu yang lebih detail ya. What are the things that is driving interest rates? I do not want to know why only interest rates going down, but I want to know the reason. Now, of course, what Bloomberg did was to fill in this gap of need by some of our clients. If you click on related functions menu, kita akan ganti area ya. So now I'm going back to main menu. Let's explore through news. So here is actually the menu of showing you how do you find news on Bloomberg. So Anda bisa coba ketik AOP for top news. For example, if you click here or you type in ya, ataupun ke depan Anda udah remember ataupun lebih ingat ya halamannya, Anda bisa langsung ketik TOP. So this halaman is like actually website. in website is, for example, www.bi.co.id is actually a website for State Bank Indonesia. So you have to remember that website. So likewise in Bloomberg, TOP, we don't have the www.no.com, but only TOP. TOP, if you hit enter, it goes into a certain page, right? So this is actually the way Bloomberg logic is. Of course, over here, you can read a lot of news that is moving on the market right now, okay? Now, the other one I want to show you, mungkin lebih relevant ya, lebih bisa bantu dalam area research is actually this one here, called BI. Jadi mudah untuk ingat Bank Indonesia, tapi BI ini merupakan ataupun symbolizes or represents Bloomberg Intelligence. Ini adalah halaman utama di mana kita ada satu tim ya, economists, ada strategists, and so on so forth. What they do is also they will generate their research. We cover equity or industry research. For example, kalau Bapak Ibu mau tahu ya, let's say oil industry going forward, what is the outlook? What is causing this to be good or bad? What do I need to know? You can click into this button here, and of course, Anda bisa pilih ya, seperti di energi. Then you can go down to the different sector. And once you click into, let's say, for example, crude oil production, mungkin Anda mau tahu ya, apakah what is the view of our analysts on crude oil production going forward? This is the link to the what do you call it, research papers. When you click into it, you will pull up and it will explain to you from their point of view, from all the data that they have, what is driving markets. Okay. Now the other thing that might be useful ya Pak, selain dari equity or industry analyst, this is the one that maybe probably will help you. For example, Anda masuk ke negara ya, let's say for example China. Everybody is looking at China because China is the second largest economy in the world. What is happening in China? Apakah ekonomi akan merosot ataupun what are they doing in order to stimulate the economy will be very important because Indonesia exports a lot of goods to China as well. So China is a big trading partner of Indonesia. So if China is not doing well, then perhaps it might impact not just Indonesia but actually the world. Now, if you are keen to know what is happening in China in terms of like the from an economist point of view, you can go into this research, and of course, a lot of people actually read this, and then what they do is they look at the data. What are the factors that our economists are looking at? Let me pull up this report. I'll show you some of the examples. While waiting for it, I just want to go back to BI to show you the rest of the other offering ya. Jadi di sini juga Bloomberg Intelligence will allow you to yeah. So besides economics, we also cover what we call fixed income, currency, and commodity. Jadi Bapak Ibu kalau ada perlu untuk melihat ya outlook untuk komoditas, what is the outlook? We also cover like crypto. For example, your students might be interested in this new digital asset. Of course, right now, I mean, as you know, during the a year back, crypto has gone through a bad patch, right? Because a lot of bankruptcy, the exchange were the guy Sam Bankman-Friedman is caught because he has maybe have done some fraud. But essentially, if you are keen on, let's say for example, interest rate, and you want to know what is driving interest rate in US, bukan hanya apakah suku bunga di Amerika akan turun, tapi ini adalah lebih detail ya. Apa faktor yang mereka dari ekonomis kami they're looking at, what are the things they're looking at that they feel that is important, that is probably affecting the interest rate in the US. Will Fed be looking at certain things like, for example, earnings wage, weekly earning wage, is it job increment? What are they looking at that they are now focusing on those numbers? So that when you're reading all these things, when you're looking at Bloomberg data and analyzing news, you can actually look at those key statistics in order to kind of like keep track of it. Okay. So let me go back to this one and see whether, okay, it's still loading. So looks like maybe the connection. But later on, if you have time, once it's loaded up, I can show you a sample of it. Okay. So mungkin sampai sini mungkin ada pertanyaan ataupun yes, yes sir.
We have a question and answer atau Q&A. You, the moderator, and this group from Department of Management, Faculty of Business. Normally we need for a visual purposes, we need multiple forms and multi-year data. So can you please show us how we can download the multi-years and multi-form at once? So I need a for manufacturing companies using in suffices for years.
Okay. Maybe I'll pass on to Ade. Yeah, Ade will also help out. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the question. Yeah, jadi there's quite a few of functionalities or pages that you can access to find those data. First of all, kalau Bapak mau mencari data untuk specific company, punya financial statement essentially. Ya, Bapak bisa menggunakan halaman yang disebut financial analysis. Nah, pertama Bapak bisa load tickernya dulu, contohnya misalnya untuk saham Goto. Bapak bisa ketik Goto, IJ, equity. Seperti ini, tunggu sampai program menu ini keluar. Click on this, and otomatis related functions menu akan membantu untuk memberikan rekomendasi beberapa halaman-halaman atau functions untuk analyze company ini. Jadi halaman yang digunakan adalah financial analysis. On this page, you will be able to see all the key financial statements. Yeah. Jadi di atas ini ada income statement, balance sheet, dan juga cash flow statement. So what's good about this page is that daripada Bapak satu membuka website-nya dan download financial statement, cash flow statement, you can look at all their financial statements in one page dari beberapa tahun yang lalu, misalnya dari 5 tahun lalu. Kami ada halaman yang disebut fitur disebut export. So you can export this on PDF dan juga Excel. Okay. Ini caranya untuk mencari financial statement untuk satu perusahaan. Kalau Bapak ingin mencari Indonesia, Anda bisa menggunakan halaman yang disebut existing. Jadi apa itu equity screening? This is a page di mana Bapak bisa menggunakan beberapa kriteria. Teman-teman bisa menggunakan kriteria seperti saya ingin mencari semua perusahaan di Indonesia. Di mana di kotak kuning ini atau di screening kriteria ini saya bisa pilih exchanges Indonesia. Lalu Bapak akan filter semua saham-saham yang ada di Indonesia. Yang kemudian Bapak juga bisa pilih suatu sektor, misalnya sektor apa Pak? Sorry Pak. Manufacturing. So sectors. Ini ada apa sektor yang bisa dipilih. Contohnya kalau untuk manufacturing kita juga bisa menggunakan kotak kuning. Manufacturing Yeah, for example, machinery manufacturing. Okay. Dan di atas ini, Bapak bisa menggunakan beberapa kriteria lain juga. Jadi contohnya misalnya Bapak ingin mencari kriteria yang PE ratio di atas 5, atau misalnya net income di atas 1 billion, dan so on. Ya, jadi Bapak bisa ketik misalnya PE ratio greater than 5. Enter. Dan kita bisa lihat dari sini bahwa ada 3 organ. So once you filter out the list of securities, di halaman ini Bapak bisa menambahkan custom tab untuk analyze those companies within the list, dan Bapak bisa menambahkan a list of columns untuk rasio-rasio yang berbeda, the ones that you want to add. Okay? Jadi contohnya misalnya saya ingin melihat ratio, income, once you go with it, Bapak bisa save, put to Excel. Did that answer your question, Bob?
Question? And here we will see again, we lecture that qualitative economics. So many more students, they use data and use, for example, energy data. Something like renewable energy or consumption of renewable energy or by sources, no? And the wind, solar energy. You have access to energy data. And then if you also have access to trading data, and more or less at which level of aggregation, you provide also, for example, data from the histories or the world, which
So for those trade data or maybe that you're looking at, perhaps you can explore through this economic analysis. For example, ECST. ECST is actually the library of all the statistics. For example, we look at, say, Indonesia. And assuming if you are looking at, say, international trade, like for example, foreign direct investments. So these are the numbers that we have. And again, all in terms of in reporting economy, like which the countries they're coming from. But I think if you need, like, say, more granular data, for example, foreign direct investment into Indonesia, maybe into which sector, like say, for example, you want to know how much has gone into renewable energy. For that, perhaps maybe at this moment we don't have that breakdown as yet. Is that something that you're looking at on that granular basis? The other one was probably, I may not know the answer, but we are now doing a lot in, we have actually another a business line where it's called Bloomberg New Energy Finance. So perhaps all those clean energy, renewable energy, we have a lot of research on that. But of course, something that maybe we can show you in more detail another session.
Okay, go. Answer by medium. So just to add on to that point, we do have this page for trade. It's called ECTR. So this is the page where you can find all the trade partners for, say, Indonesia, for example. And here you can see, here for 2022, who are the top trading partners for Indonesia. And you can also aggregate this by imports and exports. So this is one way to look at trade. And another page to look at investments, inputs and outputs. You can use this page. This will track all the investments inside and outside of Indonesia for bonds and equities. So for instance, this is for equity. Negative means outflow and positive means input. So as you can see for Indonesia, it's mostly outflows. And to add on to Devin's point earlier about our new energy finance business line. So there's an additional research team that we have at Bloomberg that focuses on renewable energy. And I'll just show you in terms of what it looks like. So as you know, we can be used as a tool to find news and also research. And this is a subsection of Bloomberg where you can all the news and research on renewables, electric vehicles, market outlook, and so on.
Yeah, it's taking a while to.
It's taking a while, but yeah, there's a bunch of research and resources that the students can use for their coursework.
Or would you like to? Any other question? Please on the chat box for now for financial strategies. Yang kita susun untuk analisis dari ekonomi dan keuangan saya.
Okay. So yes, we have show you what we have ya. Ya, jadi memang ada, tapi biar saya sharing ya. Jadi kalau Anda ketik Islamic, and again you will try and find information for you. For example, are you looking for views on certain things, or are you looking at this particular association, which is the Indonesian Islamic Global Market Association called IGMA? So we have this page called IGMA, which shows you only the instruments that is traded, or at least they are involved in. For example, if you go to IGMA, it will show you the product that we are doing right now. For example, let me just go straight to rates, and of course they have like Mudaraba overnight in 1 week. Now, if you are going through the whole entire Islamic or Sharia Islamic banking, we have a page called ISLM. ISLM is actually a page where we collate all the Islamic instruments and the countries that are involved in Islamic banking. So this is like a landing page. Once you come into this page, of course, the first thing is the news on Islamic banking. We have a tab here on the research, pipeline of Islamic bonds that is coming out, and of course, new issuance. And again, if you are keen on looking at leak, for example, which bank is involved in issuing and which one is the lead underwriter, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Now, of course, this one also shows you the Islamic banking community. For example, which banks are involved in the Islamic space. This all depends from which country they are looking at. But this is actually not just Indonesia, but overall in the world. And again, if you're keen on looking at money markets from Islamic instruments, this will actually search and pull up all those information for you. For example, you can go into Bahrain, Indonesia, right? Indonesia money market rates for Sharia. And if you are keen to look and say, okay, what are available for me to invest in terms of the sukuk bonds, like sukuk bonds? Again, if you are an international investor, Indonesia is issuing their own bonds, but of course, Malaysia is also another country that is quite active. Essentially, these are all the information that we have, and of course, which equities is actually Sharia, and in future, we're going to add more sukuk indices as well, because there's a growing demand for the investing space in creating what we call either mutual fund or ETF that's investing also only in sukuk instruments, and of course they want to benchmark against certain sukuk indices. So maybe in future, what we can do is, if you're more interested in this, we will go deeper into this. So sekilas, this is where as a one-stop, one page where it pulls in all this information on Sharia banking. Does it help? Apakah bisa bantu?
Okay, langsung belajar jelas. Jadi masing-masing siap sekolah. Jadi another question from the ESG score. And we have this is the second question. If the life history doesn't see suku terkait price and volume, then for ESG score.
Jawab pertanyaan ya. Kalau bahas suku teman-teman, suku itu mencari ESG suku, ada orang yang disebut most active ones. Jadi essentially biasanya kalau ini digunakan oleh trader first of all, all it was. Jadi sini kita bisa lihat yang periode di diskusinya itu untuk hari ini, the most active was investment of which is 1.39 trillion. Tapi kalau Bapak ingin mencari kita bisa hari ini bisa for each individual trade yang paling kan saat ini kita bisa lihat aggregate base, jadi semua trade untuk seri ini saja. Tetapi kalau Bapak ingin mencari kita bisa gunakan individual trades, and we will be able to find out the most recent best.
So if you want to look at the history, you can just pull up any one of these tickers, and of course you can run the graphing tool like example GP. Jadi di sini Anda bisa lihat ya pergerakan harga sukuknya. Yeah. So for example, this will be the movement. Yeah. over time. So this on the right hand side is the price. This is the time. Yeah. Okay. Harap itu bisa bantu menjawab ya pertanyaan dari actual quotes. Okay. Now, actually for this bonds ya, mereka akan diperdagangkan lewat OTC ataupun over the counter. Jadi lain dari saham ya. Jadi kalau untuk saham, they will trade on exchange when all the prices and all the information has to go through exchange. For example, what's the bid price of the saham? What's the offer price? How many lots or how many thousands of shares you're going to buy and sell? But for bonds and some other instruments like balas, a lot of the prices are over the counter, means that they are not going to exchange yet, and they don't. And most of the time, this information is actually quoted through banks to brokers, and sometimes the banks also use Bloomberg to advertise their shares, their prices. Now, essentially, this the prices that we get is actually you can actually use this screen or tool called all quotes, all the quotations, and you can actually open up this information, all quotes, on any instrument. For example, you can apply on dollar rupiah to see who are the contributors and where do we get these prices and how do we show these prices. Okay, I guess this one is through the exchange. There's some deals going on in exchange, but these are the banks. For example, BNI, Bank Permata, and so on and so forth. Right? So these are the prices that they put onto the system. And what we do is we take this information and then work out what we call a consensus price. Given the time, given the price, we will need probably more than 3 in order to create consensus, so that the price that's shown here is not being moved by one party, one person who push up prices high or push up prices low in order to skew the market. Yeah. So, for example, if you do the same thing for rupiah, IDR, right? If you pull up the information like IDR currency, and again, if you run OQ, it's the same thing. So you can see the transparency of the quotations or prices that's coming into Bloomberg. So here, from the onshore market, those who are quoting from Indonesia, these are the we have brokers, we have banks, and so on and so forth. So this is the time that they last provided a rate. Now, of course, this rate is not tradable. They are best indication. So based on this, all these prices here is an indication. Okay. So thank you for that question.
Dan yang kedua, bisa dijalankan
Question is, apakah ada buku panduan ya? Manual. Yes, manual book. Yeah. So there's actually to have a manual for Bloomberg is going to be a lot of what do you call it, paper, because there's thousands and thousands of pages and calculators. Now, essentially, what you can do is the first thing is actually to understand how to pull the information from Bloomberg, like cari informasi ya, cari informasi ataupun cari. Now, let's say for example, Anda mau cari, let's say for example, economy statistics, right? So we type in economy, or maybe forecast ya Pak, mungkin rates forecast. Saya mau tahu apakah pergerakan suku bunga ke depannya, rates forecast. Saya ketika terkunci, and then for example, I come to this page, let's say for example ya, mungkin yang ini, let's say for example. Now the first thing is of course ada halaman yang agak lumayan straightforward ya. If you look at it and says, okay, this is maybe you're saying, okay, I'm new to this. Cara penggunaannya bagaimana? What does this show me? How do you get this information from? What does this mean? What is this data from? If nobody in Bloomberg shows me like, oh, I must click in here to see the breakdown, then I do not know how to use, right? Now the question is actually, I want to have a manual. I want to know how this information or how I use this. Now, if you, let me just pull this one first. Let's say ECFC again. And on every screen that you pull up, run some halaman ataupun analisa, there is a question mark over here. Basically, you say, okay, I want to ask how to use this screen here. So you click on this question mark. You can actually go to live help pages. For example, the manual. The manual will pop up and they will tell you, oh, this ECFC screen, this is the objective. And if you scroll down, this is the screen over here. How do you use it? How do you change? And so on and so forth. So basically, this buku panduan untuk halaman itu. Yeah. This question mark, Pak, tanda tanya di sini. Help pages. Help me with this page. Jadi bantu saya dengan apa yang saya sudah tarik ya ke layar Bloomberg. Now, kalau Anda ada pertanyaan yang, let's say for example, I do not know how to start. I'm still new, like maybe your students, right? Pak, Ibu, bagaimana cara pakai Bloomberg ya? Ataupun saya mau cari data ini, mungkin seperti Bapak tanya ya, saya mau cari data untuk, say for example, greenhouse emission. How do I find that on Bloomberg? If I try kata kunci, ketik kata kunci, I still can't find. You can actually select this thing called live help. Ini adalah why Bloomberg is actually preferred in the market as well, because we have a 24/7 help desk. It's not ChatGPT, it's not robot, but it's humans. Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu ada, let's say yourself or even your students wants to ask in bahasa because they prefer to speak in bahasa, they can actually type in here in bahasa and say, saya mau cari, let's say for example, some things. Then of course they can say apakah bisa I prefer bahasa Indonesia. So we will find a colleague who can speak bahasa to actually help. Yeah, so in fact, you can type in here, let's say, for example, how to gold price. Let's say, for example, ya, saya mau cari kalau bagaimana untuk cari harga emas ya di Bloomberg. So once I type that and then key in, so here we have again link to the Bloomberg thing. Of course, this is a simple generic question like, okay, it's commonly asked like gold price. So sometimes what we do is we use auto processing where, okay, you're looking for this, most likely these are the information you need. So if you say, okay, you do not answer my question, I can then ask for more assistance. Then I say, a live person will come in and say, I'll help you with it. Yeah. So this is the help desk or live help. So the other thing is actually pulling data into Bloomberg. Let's say, for example, to pull data into Bloomberg, I just give you a simple one, yeah, Pak. Yeah. So Excel in Bloomberg, we have a add-in. There's a link to pull data from Bloomberg. So communicate from Excel to Bloomberg or Bloomberg to Excel. And of course, don't worry about this. I just show you that it can be done. Earlier, Pak Ade says, if the screen shows you like export to Excel, itu gampang kan? So you don't have to do that. Tapi kalau Anda mau tarik ya, let's say some data, mungkin dolar rupiah sekarang. Let's say the harga dolar rupiah untuk hari ini into Excel. Yeah. So once Excel opens, I will show you quickly. Anda bisa open up Excel first. Di sini ada what we call the Bloomberg. There is a function builder. You can actually like a wizard. You can create. It's a wizard, and once it pulls up, you can just follow the steps. For example, masukin. Okay, it's taking some time, but let me quickly show you here.
Nah, jadi special price di dan teman-teman bisa menggunakan beberapa lain dengan kedua Bloomberg untuk special delivery.
But I'm showing you like since it's taking up there. So this is actually a stock or the code of this dollar rupiah, yeah. And this is the data field I want to pull out. Don't worry about it right now, but I just want to show you it works. Yeah, bisa. So we can link up. Oops, sorry. Yes, I did. So I can link up. So these things we will teach your students as well, right?
So untuk membuat permohonan liburan, sebenarnya itu adalah untuk pertama kan di ticker apa itu untuk uh, rates untuk FX. Misalnya kalau IDR currency, kita gunakan IDR currency, dan yang kedua adalah data apa yang ditarik. Misalnya kalau saya ingin mencari harga rate untuk IDR, syntax will be plus price. Dan juga ada banyak sekali ya formula yang bisa dipelajari untuk menarik data dari Excel dan bisa juga mahal sekali teman-teman. I don't think we can do the spreadsheet tool because it should be fine. So menggunakan sesi trading untuk menarik data ini ke Excel. Berapa? Bisa. Dari posnya otomatis dari halaman tadi ke sini. Bisa. Menarik harga saham buku. Kalau buku tiga ya, kalau buka halaman historical pricing, ini dan ini bisa langsung tarik misalnya harganya masih beda. Yang misalnya ini seperti ini. Bisa ini dulu. Kita misalkan ada menggunakan tombol ekspor atau langsung menggunakan spreadsheet tool. Pertanyaan ESG ya, karena ESG adalah topik ya. There's one dedicated page untuk mencari data ESG. Yang pertama Bapak bisa buka tiga dulu, misalnya dengan example saya membuka saham ada dulu. Nah, shortcutnya adalah ESG. Okay, so this page is really good. Nanti atas ini Bapak bisa lihat tampilnya. For the ESG score yang tidak sebelah dimana kita bisa compare. If this company is doing better compared to the peers and also compared to the historical yang jadi Bloomberg menggunakan classification untuk semua emiten yang dalam satu industri. Here's family they will do again. It's all apart from the okay. And here we'll look at some other scores, including from third parties for the MCIs, Sustainalytics, and kalau misalnya teman-teman ingin dive deeper into their ESG scores in more detail, kita bisa ke second time di sini untuk melihat beberapa skor levelnya. Jadi ini sangat komplit jika teman-teman lagi mengerjakan.
Itu pertanyaan this is our question. So the view is it's really going to content data for a particular stocks. We can do a theory in some way. Or maybe get or remember.
Pak Abed, Anda mau cari data volatility ya untuk saham. Yeah. Again, saham, some of the saham, let's say for example Indonesia, maybe there is no option traded on certain stocks, like some exchanges, like for example US and other countries, they have stock trading. They also have option market there. For example, let's say we use Microsoft. Yeah? Let's say I pull up Microsoft. And let's say this is the stock. Now, essentially what you can do is looking at the option market. For example, the volatility is actually traded in the option market. There is a tool called OMON, or called OMON, Option Monitor. Essentially, Option Monitor allows you to look at all the contracts that's traded. Because this is actually traded in the exchange, or they have like a category, for example, which delivery month, which strike. Now, what they do is the market players will quote you the premium, and based on the premium, we can actually work out the implied volatility. So basically, like for example, this is the we call it the second. So this is the contract for expiry November 17th, and there are these are calls. These are the strike, like 340 call, and of course the bid ask premium. Based on that, they can also work out the implied volatility. So this is the volatility for the option for this level traded at this strike 27%. Now, of course, you can also look at some of these thing called skew, like now the other thing that you can do as well is if you are looking at Indonesian stocks, is that right? Okay. So for Indonesian stocks, let's say for example, BBJR, let's say we pick up one of these stocks. Now, unfortunately, BBJR, there's no option market trader rate, so that we don't have those information. So what you can do is actually look at the historical volatility. So if you are looking at historical volatility, we need a tool to kind of help us calculate the standard deviation, right? So for that, we can actually, if you're not sure what are the analytics to look at, you can type in, is there a tool to help me look for historical volatility? So we have HVG, we have HVT, so we can apply this here, HVG on top of the stock. And what they do is they will pick up all the data, closing prices, and they will plot you the rolling historical vol. For example, if you want a 30-day, right? If you just look at 30 days, this will be the 30-day volatility on a historical basis. So they're using an annualized factor of 260, and then this will be the historical volatility for 30 days on a historical basis. So all these volatility is based on historical price because there's no quoted market yet. I hope that helps you.
Okay, because to our Bloomberg tip, from the online participants. Yeah, probably for our online participants, our main speaker will very first his email to you, and probably we will respond to your message.
Maybe a time.
And before our workshop finish, yeah, I will invite the participant who or maybe have a question. We have 6 participants. I will mention Pak Heru, Pak Heru, Pak Miguel, and also the online participant. We have 2 participants, Pak Fred, and also invite Bapak Habib and also Bapak Albert to come to the stage and get the supplement for our library.
Wow.
Okay. Also, Miguel, Habib was stage and also our continue with you the talk. Or the global team, Bapak Kevin or gather. And then
Ada.
okay.
The most handsome one.
Oke, tiga-tiganya mungkin satu-satu ya. Because we have 3 participants. One by one, ya. No need to fight it. Nah, nanti terlebih dahulu mungkin ke Bapak Heru. Oke, Bapak Heru. with speaker, if we go to Albert. You which post other the software. Three of you and also the Bloomberg team. Okay, thank you. And then thank you.
Ya, saya cuma mau mungkin kita mengakhiri acara hari ini. Saya yakin pastinya dari kawan-kawan Anda, kawan-kawan kita semua di sini pasti merasa wah, Bloomberg terlalu banyak informasi yang mungkin dan juga mungkin tidak. Ya, mudah-mudahan tadi yang menjawab apa yang punya pertanyaan sudah cukup jelas. Tapi saya cuma mau bilang begini ya, kalau saya sendiri di posisi Anda seperti saat ini di mau melihat dulu dan kadang-kadang juga screen-nya lama, responsnya itu juga pasti masih pertanyaan. So, apa yang kita sudah di program yang sekarang kita ini dan kita mendapatkan dari mempergunakannya saya di depan video itu dan punya pertanyaan. That's is available 24 jam, 7 hari seminggu. Ya mudah-mudahan Anda yang ada di kota sekarang hari Minggu untuk masih belajar, tapi di saatnya pun Anda di sini melakukan riset, Anda bisa melakukan. Jadi kedua mungkin sesi hari ini bukan cuma adalah satunya yang Anda bisa dapatkan dari jadi nanti kita akan jadwal lagi di depan lagi untuk sesi berikutnya dalam arti kita walaupun hari ini cuma sangat generik kalau untuk awalnya nanti kita akan melakukan kayak sesi itu misalnya ada yang fokus tinggi kita juga bisa melakukan sesi itu supaya mendapatkan data yang download atau bahkan ada download misalnya screen-nya Anda mau pakai untuk melakukan presentasi di PowerPoint dengan cara itu juga bisa. So, mungkin hari ini bukan cuma hari satu-satunya, nanti mudah-mudahan kalau itu di dalam yang mungkin sampaikan dari surat kalian ini nanti kita berdua. Mudah-mudahan ini bilang yang dari satu pasti terima kasih kita berikan kesempatan untuk Bloomberg hari ini. Workshop with surprise. Jangan sampai mistake the Bloomberg. It's not us for doing our research. For example, we want to know this kind of feature of irrigation happening on our currency system. Or we can analyze the determined indicators of China, looking and all looking forward the world economy condition. We are on this okay, for future. Okay, and then I will we will invite you to access the Google terminal in the first one. We also open for you on Monday to Saturday, especially for the weekend weekdays. We open from 7:30 until 10 p.m.
Okay, then you can yeah, picture together. Yeah, I will give to the host to post the workshop. Back to
Baik, Bapak, Ibu, dan para hadirin yang kami hormati, demikian acara Bloomberg Workshop Stage Start 2009. Terima kasih atas kehadiran dan perhatian dari Bapak Ibu serta hadirin sekalian. Saya selaku Master of Ceremony mewakili petugas menyatakan permohonan maaf atas hal yang kurang berkenan selama berlangsungnya acara. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kami mohon untuk melakukan sesi dokumentasi dan perbaikan. Ya, mungkin Bapak dan Ibu bisa menghubungi bisa.
Lebih rapat lagi mungkin rapat ke ya, tiga dua lagi tiga dua oke pustakan gimana gini literasi enggak mungkin bisa begini kayaknya teman-teman literasi gitu kayaknya literation tiga dua lagi tiga dua terima kasih banyak ya Pak. Ketemu lagi.